Alright guys, so you wanna get into an RV and live in it. Here's some things to think about. I feel like this is something that everybody talks about or fantasizes about doing, and not that many people actually do it, and I understand why. We've had a really good experience. We've been RV living full-time for a month, and essentially we boondock, which means we don't have hookups. So when we first started this journey, we were very new to RVing. I mean, my husband had never even been in an RV, and I had been in one as a child, maybe like 3-4 times. We have a toddler who's just over 2. He will be 3 soon, and is having a blast doing whatever with his mouth. There's a lot of different reasons to do it. I have some Facebook groups that talk about RVing, and some people are like, I don't understand why anybody would stay in one place in an RV. I thought it was for traveling. And the truth is, sometimes rent is just not worth it or not affordable. And buying a house is kind of out of the question. I'm not going to say our exact location just for safety, but we're in California. We are looking to move out of state. Our goal was to travel originally. My husband is a really great baker. We're working on our baking coffee shop business slowly as we get the money and plans and everything. So we wanted to be a traveling, business and everything. However, right now that's just not possible. So we're still trying to figure it out. There's no shame in trying to figure your life out at whatever age you are, and things just don't go as planned, simply put. So we are in one place in California, and this is our primary vehicle. So we have a motorhome. Of course, you could do travel trailers, which are really nice. Travel trailers are a great option. They're beautiful, and they're a little cheaper than motorhomes. But of course, you have to have a vehicle that has the towing capacity for it. And it presents other challenges just being able to, for us, if we're on the road and driving, it's oh my gosh, I have to go to the bathroom, or he has to go to the bathroom, our toddler. So we can just pull over and go to the bathroom. Versus if you have a travel trailer, or they need a toy or something, you have to pull over, unlock, go into there. Now, we weighed the pros and cons, and we got an RV, and it's working great for us. Yes, we still see travel trailers, and we're like, wow, those are gorgeous. So ours is a smaller RV. We looked into Sprinter vans as well. Those are a great option if you're just a couple or if you're just a solo person. I always said they're like gazelles. They're gorgeous, but they just don't have enough room. Not for us. But they're so nice because you're pretty incognito. You could kind of stay in parking lots and not be known, It's kind of oh, it's just a van. But they're just so much smaller. Obviously, there's no plumbing in them, so you'd have to put all the plumbing in them. We looked at one before we purchased our RV, and it just was it's just not gonna work for us, And it could work for you if you have the ability to work with even less space. So, anyways, right now we're stationary. And I'm going to talk more about that. But we're actually on a program in the city that we live in that gives us a parking space at night, and we have to just meet simple qualifications, like that we have insurance, that we have our license, and that the vehicle's registered. So it doesn't have to be an RV, but it just worked out for us because there's not really any long-term RV sites near us. And so there's different options. Like I said, we're boondocking. We have no connections. So we have a generator. We have a water pump, which we fill a water tank for. Our generator runs off of our gas tank. So we only rent it for a few hours at night when we get to our spot. There's stipulations with our spot. We can only be there from 7 to 7. So that can be a challenge sometimes because we're like, oh my gosh, it's 6 o'clock. We are tired. We want to just be like, not have to get back in the car, drive again, you know, get Arkham in his seat. And we want to just cook, turn on the generator. So we have to wait till 7 to do that. What are you doing? So, that is a little bit challenging. However, there's really great options if you want to live in an RV. So, there are month-to-month options in a lot of states and a lot of cities. California does have some. They're just not close to us because we're kind of in a destination place. So they don't really want to rent to you month to month because that's not making them money, you know. They're smaller RV parks and they make more money. They make more money renting to... Yeah, right? They make more money renting to people, you know, short term, and then like turning the spot out and next person. So where we are, the cheapest thing that I can find is about $75 a night. So when you're hooked up to sewer, you are hooked up to water and electricity. So basically you can live just like a normal apartment. So if you're able to get a spot monthly, that is a great idea to live in an RV because really it feels like you're just in an apartment. Because you're hooked up, you have water, it's draining. So for us, we have a water tank that's about 35 gallons, I think. So we have to maintain and make sure that we have enough water for P to shower in the morning, for dishes. We keep water jugs for drinking and water jugs for cooking. So we just use the water for like washing. You boo. So we have to maintain our water. So we also have 2 things to drain. Honk honk. Trash truck. So we have to, okay, sorry, it's distracting, but I want to do this for you guys. So, when you want to use water, you have to turn the water pump on. When you're at an RV park, it's just like regular flowing water, and it goes right into the sewer drain thing. You don't have to worry about it. When you're boondocking or like, I don't know, when you're not hooked up, you have a gray tank and a black tank. So your water from the sink and from the shower and from the bathroom sink goes to the gray tank, and then the toilet goes to a black tank, and you have to drain those. So for instance, once a week usually we have to go, which costs money, but around us it's like $7.50 where we found, and we have to dump your black tank, dump your gray tank, and refill with water. And then they also have big trash cans so that we can throw away our trash if we need to. Usually we're able to like stop by family's house or like see a trash can, like a public trash can, and put our trash. We don't have that much trash in it. And then a lot of the RVs do have the possibility to build in a washer dryer in one unit, which is really awesome. Or some of the huge ones have a washer and a dryer, but you have to think about that if you're not connected, that it is taking away from your water supply and filling up your tanks. So we end up just going to the laundromat. We try to get a spot every week or every other week, and they have laundry there for usually pretty reasonably priced. What? Trash truck, do you like bad guy? Whoa! No? Are you watching High Beam? Cool. So that helps us out a little bit, because then if we go to a spot, we can just dump and refill there and not pay the extra $7.50. And then our gas we get about once a week as well, which is pretty hefty, but it lasts us, you know, the generator runs off of it, we drive. And on top of that, propane. So some people convert to electric, which if you were connected to power would be fine. But for us, we would have to turn the generator on. Like the lights work on battery, so I can turn the lights on whenever I need them. But like the stove is propane. If it was electric, I wouldn't be able to use it unless the generator was on, since we're not hooked up. So, like the Instapot, I can only use it, and we can only charge our phones. I mean, we do have a little, oh, fire truck. We do have a little, like, block thing that was already here that you can plug into and turn on, but it doesn't run a lot of things. And then I've gotten some power blocks, that could run like a laptop if you needed it plugged in the whole time, or like even the TV, you could run the TV for a little bit and it's just a block. However, it's just not, yeah, it's not convenient. Like I couldn't run a stove, and the Instapot I haven't really tried. I thought about it, but, and it can charge our phones and everything. But so we turn on the generator in the evening and charge everything, make sure everything's charging. We usually turn on the TV and hang out for a little bit. Yeah, so that's the main thing. Like that's kind of what we do. However, if you were able to get a spot monthly, which is what I highly recommend if you can afford it, if there's some in your area or where you want to go. So before you buy an RV, make sure you're looking at these options. Like for instance, where we live, we cannot park on the street in an RV. It's not legal. Like if you park like parallel park or just like not in a parking lot, pretty much you'll get a ticket. So we have not, thank goodness, but that is like the city ordinance of where we live. So things like that are good to look into, because if you don't have the driveway space, you might have to look into renting the driveway space, or an RV park, or even like RV storage. So that's something really to look into, is look into the local laws of where you are or where you want to be with your RV. So we bought a 2001 RV. Ours is older. I don't know the square footage, but that way we can redo it. So we're redoing it slowly. We have done a lot, which I'll do a tour and I'll link it down below. But we're still working on like countertops, bathroom sink, you know, tint, like simple things that like are gonna feel really nice when they're done. But it does add up, it does get expensive. So we bought it for $20, and because we did look at newer, nicer ones and even bigger ones, but we just didn't want a payment. You know, we didn't want a payment hanging over our head, and it just wasn't in our budget to have a big payment. And then obviously you're paying more for them. Interest rates are crazy right now. And yeah, we didn't really want a bigger RV because it's going to be harder to drive, you know, like, and harder to fit in places. Like this is already, we went near Disneyland and it was so hard to like go to breakfast. It was like, oh my gosh, where are we going to park? So yeah, and that's the other thing. Look into monthly RV parks. You can Google it, or I could put a link down below, because I have found some good ones that kind of tell you how much RV parks like all over the United States. Another great option is if you can buy a property that has RV hookups on it. Some people live like that. Not all states that's legal. Sometimes they have a time frame like 2 years and you have to build. So that's definitely something to look into. That's what I'm kind of looking into right now. If I could find us a property that we can eventually build on, but for now we can live in an RV, or we can just make it an RV area. I don't know. So you can Google that in areas you want to go, like land for sale with RV hookups. Because really, like I said, if you're hooked up, besides propane, which costs like 17 bucks to fill, it's not much, and we only fill it like every 2 weeks. And I cook a decent amount in here. Like, we hardly go out. I pretty much cook at least breakfast and dinner, or at least 2 meals a day. So if you can find land like that. You may also be able to find land to rent, maybe somebody's land, somebody's driveway, but it's kind of hard because a lot of people will rent you for storage, but they don't want you living in it. So what is he drinking? I'll come look right now. Okay, I'll come check. So there's a lot of different ways you can go about it, a lot of different options. Again, you could get a piece of land and boondock, kind of like what we're doing, like dry camping per se. But then you have to make sure it's not too far out of town, because you have to make sure you can go get all your refills, all your dump stuff, and propane. So there's a lot of different options, but it's just something to really think about before you get an RV or a travel trailer, because it's kind of overwhelming. And a lot of people have like reached out to me and asked me, like, I don't know, you know, kind of like, I don't know where to start, or I don't know what to do. So I say the first thing you should do is figure out where you're wanting to RV live, and go from there. Look up RV like monthly rentals if you're wanting to be stationary, or even if you want to go month to month and travel, that's a great option too. And then look up, you know, just like basic laws, like, can you park on the street where you are? Because if you're going to get your RV and then move into it, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge if you're not allowed to park on the street, or you don't have a driveway, or if you need to renovate it, you know. And then my next thing, obviously, as you're traveling, there's like, what do they call them? I forgot what they call it, but like, I can't think of the word. But basically, like Walmart parking lots, I think some Costco parking lots, I think also like that Cabela's and what is that, Bass Pro Shop, I think those are all like safe havens, that's the word, I think, for RVers, so that you can stay there like a night or two, and kind of just be out of the way if you're traveling. So that's a good option, but obviously you can't really live that way. Maybe if you're just single, and you could probably live that way. But with kids and stuff, you're going to be going in and out of your RV. It's going to be obvious that you're living there, and I don't think they'll let you live there, you know, monthly. I don't know. You could call and ask. But, so basically during the day, we're in a typical parking lot. And then once the evening hits, we go to our spot that's designated. And then, like I said, on P's 2 days off a week, we usually try to go to a spot. And it's been really fun. We've only been to 2 spots, but trash truck. But it's a lot of fun. And you know what? We were nervous that like our toddler would not like it, because when we moved from our apartment to family's house to renovate, it was tough, and he was sad. It was like, he was like, I want to go home. I don't want to go to Nana's house. I want to go home. So that was like really sad in the beginning. We were like, oh, we had prepared him for it and talked to him about it, but it just felt like, oh my God, like, are we making the right move? What are we doing? And then he always loved the van. Even when we went to go purchase it and like look at it, he loved it. When we had a bunch of construction stuff in here, he was kind of over it. He kept running out. We're trying to work on it. And then like now that we're in it, like literally within the first week, he was so happy to be in here. And he's like, literally we went to Disney, downtown Disney, and he picked up a toy and he's like, all right, like, I'm ready to go back to the van, like the first store. I'm like, okay, no, we're going to be out for the day. We'll take it back later. But, and even like when we show up to people's houses, he'll go in, but he's like, I want to go back to my van. Like, I don't want to be in here. So, and he wants to show everyone and bring all the dogs in here that he knows. So he's very proud of it, and he really likes it. And we don't even have designated areas for him yet. Like, we want to make like an activity wall. His toys are like not organized or put together like they should be. So we basically had 1 month to get this thing ready and go out in it. So, and it's, I mean, it was livable, but it was like the person had lived in it for a year, and they had 2 dogs. that were not, it smelled a little bit, and they were pretty like basic. It was an older person and they did not care how anything looked. So like I said, I'll show you the before and after. I think I have a before video of it. I'm sure I do. So on Instagram, I have also our journey on it. So I'll put our Instagram here that you could go find us. I'll put it down below probably. And I'm trying to film all these videos off my phone because I used to try to film and then edit on the laptop, and it just was not working for me. I just can't get the content out that way because I just don't have time, you know. I am a stay-at-home mom and my toddler keeps me very busy. I try to work out and cook all the meals, so, and keep everything semi-clean. So it's just too hard. Like, I would try to stay up, but he doesn't go to sleep till like midnight or after sometimes, and he wakes up when I wake up. So he's not a sleeper, never has been, and it's just too hard to like try to edit. So a lot of the videos you guys are going to get are going to be pretty raw, and they're going to be off my phone. So we'll see how it goes. So I'm learning, it's new for me, but I just wanted to chat with you guys. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out on Instagram, or I think you can reach out on YouTube. But yeah, I hope that you, I hope that this was helpful in whatever you're considering in life. If not, interesting. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.